All right, so hello everyone. So today we're doing another interview. I have a guest named Layla, who's going to be going through her experience with TFU and any other groups that she was in relating to Jeff and Shaleia. So Layla, welcome. So I'm not sure if there's anything that you want to kind of say, or as far as like how long have you been, or how long were you in TFU?
Actually, I came across TFU in 2019, start of the 2019. I was going through a bad breakup, and also I was into tarot readings and everything. So I came across the name Twin Flames, and there was this tarot reader who actually showed the books Twin Flames: Finding Your Ultimate Lover in her on her channel, and I was like very curious about it. So I searched Jeff and Shaleia, and I came across their channel. Their videos were very nice. Um, Although even at that time, I found Jeff really creepy. To be honest, he was like he just stared at Shaleia or like something for way too long. It was like so creepy. But I was like, I have a habit of gaslighting myself so bad. I was like, it's okay, fine. Maybe they're in too much love. It is okay. So I came across them at that time, and then in the start of 2020, I joined TFU. I bought one class pass, and yeah, since then it has been going downhill.
Okay, so I don't want you to mention any names or anything like that, but I know you said you had mentioned so you had originally gotten into TFU due to someone who was on YouTube, and they did readings. I know that's like a huge thing in its own on YouTube, but apparently I'm going to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, but the person that was doing these readings was someone from TFU, and or was it
Oh
someone?
no, it was an independent tarot reader. She
Oh,
wasn't from
okay.
TFU. Yeah, um, but yeah, she said that she is not involved with TFU, but the book helped her a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, so she was into the book, and she shared the book with her audience. And I was like, okay, I heard of the mirror exercise from her, and I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. And then I joined TFU.
So before joining, as you know, you said that you found Jeff a little creepy. I'm assuming that you had watched some of their videos on YouTube for a little bit
Yeah,
to kind of get a
yeah.
feel for them. Um, was it more of their recent videos that you had watched, or was it like some of their old stuff when you
Actually,
started?
some of the recent at that time.
Mm-hmm.
At that time.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, yeah,
Okay. You
yeah.
said this was about, or what, early 2019 or like mid
Yeah, early
2019?
2019.
Okay.
Early 2000. Yeah.
Okay. So how long were you in the group overall? Like how many months, or like was it for like a, because we're not quite yet at the end of 2020 yet, so it's been less than a year.
In the group, actually, I have been like, yeah, in July, yeah, it would have been a year in July. So more
Okay.
than a year, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um,
I took my
but
time in subscribing. I was like I watched the videos for a while, and I was like, okay, I think it is a safe place to go, and I should join the group. So I joined in the July in 2019, and then yeah, I have been there ever since. And then I left this year.
okay. Um, what started your because I say, like, unlike a lot of other people, yes, you know you haven't been in the group for too long, like a year. For the most part, I mean, kind of looking at some of the people that I've talked to, is kind of a short time for someone to join and then leave. Um, Especially, so you said you weren't, so you bought the one class pass. Did you join
Yeah.
the Facebook group immediately after signing up for the one class pass, or was it after the fact? Like,
I joined the group before buying the pass. The thing is, although I have been in the group for not too long, but I can say that I am an Indian person, so I am very much aware of people who call themselves gurus and all this jazz. So I joined the group, and then there was also this very weird thing they do. There's also this, they just randomly text you, the coaches, and they're like, why aren't you buying the pass? They wouldn't even ask you how you're doing, who are you, why are you here. They'll just, you should buy the classes, you should buy the classes, you should buy the classes, you should buy the classes. So they just force you to buy the classes so much that it just didn't sit well with me. So
so
I
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I get this right. So you joined the Facebook group first, and then
yeah.
you joined, and then after watching this video from someone who was outside of TFU, then you decided to actually invest in the classes.
Okay, I will set my timeline straight. I
Okay,
think we're
okay,
both
okay, okay. I
confused.
just want to make sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay, all right. So I came across Jeff and Shaleia in January 2019. I started through a tarot reader, and then I started watching the videos, and then I joined their group in July 2019. And I also had a consultation with Brianne. You know, they give a consultation, they used to, whenever you enter. And in 2020 January, I bought one class pass from them.
Now, I have a question. When I know you said you had a free consultation. I'm assuming that was something that they gave you when you originally joined the group.
Yeah, yeah, it was to introduce TFU, like what it stands for and everything, like
Okay,
to make me aware. Yeah.
okay, and so within the consultation, did they recommend investing into the classes or the courses or
Yeah, they
immediately?
did. They did. And I was like, I need some time. And I told her that I need some time, and that the classes, according to my currency, the classes are too highly priced for me. I told her that. But she was, and I also told her that I don't have time. I travel a lot due to my work, and I cannot watch the classes, so I won't be doing justice to myself by buying this thing. So she was like, no, you can watch it anytime. It is a lifetime investment, and you should buy the class. It will do you this, it will give you that. And I was like, no, I just need time. So she was like, I mean, every time she suggested that no, you should go forward and buy the class, I was like, no, I don't have time and I need time. So she's like, okay, well, see you later, bye.
Okay, I have a question with the introduction, I guess, consultation that they do. Um, how long is it? Is it like a 15-minute consultation where they kind of introduce the group and then suggest the classes?
Yeah, it was a 15-minute consultation.
Okay. Um, and within them, of course, pitching the classes and the courses, um, and this is all just for me because I personally want to know, did it seem a little pushy with them constantly mentioning the classes, or was it like, hey, this is kind of just like what we do, and if you don't want it, cool, or was it like, well, we strongly recommend that you invest in these classes, blah blah blah.
Some of them were, actually many of them were very pushy. Some of them were pretty nice. I was like, I cannot buy the classes right now. They were like, okay, love doesn't push you, so we are going to leave you here. Some of them were like that, but most of them were like, no, you should just ask God. God will provide for you. God will provide for you. Just invest in the class, and once you invest in the class, the money will come. They make it sound like you don't have to do anything, and just money, once you invest in the class, money will appear on its own. They make it sound like that. So yeah, many of them were very pushy in that regards.
Yeah. And so I know you said you weren't in the group for, like I said, you weren't in the group for too long, about a year or so, give or take. Um, what, I guess the question is, when did you start, I guess, doubting or start questioning or start thinking that you should maybe leave the group?
Actually, the first of all, the pushiness from the coaches, that that didn't sit well with me. And also, I saw this pattern in the group that they have so many products and they have so many classes, but the only people who are in harmonious union, they're the people who have bought everything. If you haven't bought everything, I don't think they will provide you that. So I felt like this is not something natural. This is just like contract between them. You buy everything and you get this. So that's what set me off. And also how they treat people in the group. They were like, I can say I am very much, you know, I don't like the biblical, behavior of, you know, you're going to hell. If you do this, you're going to hell. This is that. And they use the word karma so loosely. It's like, you do this, now you're going to be this in your next life. They, so this is what set me off. I was like, no, this doesn't happen. This, and this just isn't right. They even, there was this person in the group, they told him that you have disrespected us. He was very close in the inner circle, he still is. And they told him that you have disrespected us, your twin flame has disrespected us, and now you will have to pay your karma. If you keep on doing this, you will be autistic in your next life. They told him that.
I know
I cannot.
exactly who you're talking about because I have the screenshot, so I know who you're referring to. Um,
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure if it was Jeff or Shaleia. I think it might have been Shaleia that was the one that commented it because she was talking about like having Down. Was that the one when she was talking about like having Down syndrome and like your next life and stuff? So
I was like, they call themselves allies, and they're like, it is like making fun. Honestly, it is making fun of the people who have the syndrome. It's like telling them that there is something wrong with you. It is already hard for those people to live. It is, let's be real. It is very hard for those people to live life, and you are making it harder for them by saying that this is something you're being punished with. So
exactly, like they're making it seem like if you have this symptom or you have this diagnosis, that it's because you did something. You're making it seem like if you did something in your past life and you deserve this, or this is
yeah,
the result of something
yeah,
that you've done in your past life, which is whatever, but okay.
yeah. It was like, it's sad. It is really sad. And there was this couple, and actually, yeah, I had just entered the group, and they just blacklisted this couple. They were a gay couple, and I didn't know why they blacklisted them. I hadn't watched the ACP. Now I know why they had blacklisted them because, but they were like, oh my god, they're going to hell. They did this, they did that, and they left the group, and now they'll be in eternal hell forever. I was like, oh my god, this group the only heaven? And if we leave this group, we are going to be in hell forever. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So
And I'm not sure if you were. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if you were in the group during this time, but it was funny because they always used to teach originally anyway that they weren't always meant to be there, right? They were like, we're just kind of your guide to help you to God, and then after that, like it's your own journey type situation. Now it seems like a whole different uh thing going on. It's more of like, hey, we are the one and only gurus, and if you decide to choose your own path or to go your own route, then you pretty much betrayed us, and now you're going to
Yeah,
hell,
it is like,
you're gonna have a messed up, next life or whatever the case may be. Or you're gonna, you're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna, get your twin flame or whatever, they want to try to hold against people.
it is like we are in a prison. It is like they're our twin flames. And we cannot leave them. They're stuck to us forever. So
Yeah, which is, yeah, it's really weird compared to what they originally used to teach, because
yeah,
they, I guess, would always preach like, we're not always going to be there. And I thought, and, at first I thought that was an awesome thing, cool, great. But I think, I guess once they realized that, you can only do so much before I guess that well runs dry. They realized they couldn't just, cut ties with everyone and just go about their merry way and not do anything
yeah.
else. But that's just my opinion on that one. So let me just make sure I get this right. So what really started to kind of, I guess, get you kind of like, okay, I'm not sure if this is going to work, be the best place for me, is like, I guess, what the abuse, and kind of just seeing how,
Yeah.
I guess, just kind of how how Jeff and Shaleia acted, or how the group acted. What now, was it only Jeff and Shaleia, the way they acted, that caused you to want to leave, or was it the other
No,
people as
no.
well in the group?
The group is like one of those people who go on the Salem witch hunt. The group is like that. Oh my God, I cannot tell you what those people, they're like, there was this woman, they actually started channeling same-sex unions between women. And there was this woman, um, she she was channeled as a divine masculine to one of the women, uh, who used to be in the inner circle. She left after the channeling. So this woman, she stopped. Let's just call her Annie. Okay, Annie was channeled as a divine masculine. So Annie stopped taking her coaching sessions after she was channeled because it didn't sit right with her. So she went on her own journey. She started exploring by herself what she is. And in the end, Annie came to the realization. She even talked to her supposed divine feminine. So, and when they talked, it wasn't romantic. It just felt like two sisters talking. You know how two girls talk, two friends talking.
Yeah, like
And
just
she was
regular
like,
friends to
she was
chat.
like,
And
yeah, she was like, it is just a sisterly chat, sisterly bond. I cannot think of it as a twin flame bond. And she even matched her love list with that person. It didn't match. So she posted in the group a, a very long post about how she came to the realization that she is not a divine masculine, and that person indeed is not her divine feminine, the one that Jeff channeled. So now there is this first person who comments that, well, you should have gone with a friendship without expecting anything. Just be her friend. Explore the relationship, be her friend. And then there was this other person, your heart is sick. There was this other person who is her coach. The coach told her that you haven't taken any sessions with me. I didn't put you on the right path. You didn't fully go in. And how can you say that she is not your twin flame and you're not a DM without exploring it fully? You haven't, yeah, their favorite word, exploring. Why haven't you explored it fully? So she was like, no, I know my truth. My truth is inside me. And Jeff and Shaleia are not God. She told them they're not God. And they can only help me, guide me, but they cannot tell me what is real. And there have been many channelings which have been wrong in the past. And
I
this
say,
might
yeah,
be one
they
of
had to
those.
reassign like a good 90% of the people who were still there, because no one was with their twin flames. And I mean, I know Jeff and Shaleia use the excuse of, oh, if God did, God showed you who your real twin flame was, it wouldn't have been as a sweet journey. But it's like, it's not a sweet journey when you're,
Yeah,
you
it
think
is
that
traumatic.
your twin, yeah, when you think
It's
someone is your
traumatic.
twin flame for years on end, and then just to be up and told that, hey, even though your guru, confirmed, because and you claim that you're 100% accurate in all your channeling. I, as your guru, who can do no wrong, pretty much, and never wrong when it comes to channeling. I know I told you that this person is your twin flame, but actually it's this person. And the reason why God didn't reveal this to me or reveal this to you, or whatever the excuse they want to give, is because, the journey wouldn't have been as sweet. It's like, no, I just wasted, 2+ years and like thousands of dollars for you to all of a sudden tell me that the person who you channeled to be my twin flame is not my twin flame. Like, that doesn't sit well with me. So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's weird that they now go back to the whole like, oh, well, Jeff, channeled it, or whoever channeled it. I understand that I know who you're referring to, and I was informed that channeling did come through Jeff, and then Jeff relayed it to someone else to inform these two people that these two women that they were now twin flames. So
No, this is another thing.
I don't know.
And yeah, it is another story. I am going to tell this story. It is a very interesting story. And yeah, so that woman, she kept on saying, no, I know myself, I know my truth. And these people, they were on a witch hunt. There was this one woman who told her that, no, you have this strong energy, Amy, let yourself be seen. You want to be seen. Why are you not being seen? And there was another one. So she was like, I know my energy. I know I'm a strong woman and I am being seen. And there was this another person who told her that, no, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. And she told her, okay, I'm leaving the group. And I know I am being stamped here as a DM and I'm going to leave the group. So she was like, no, do you feel okay by victimizing yourself by saying that you are being stamped? And she was like, you are literally stamping me. I'm not being victimized. And then let's come to the love list. She told them that I have matched my love list with that person and it didn't match. I am a very organized person and she's very messy. So now Jeff and Shaleia says that love list is 100% accurate way to see if someone is a twin flame or not. And if her love list didn't match, then it's not. But at that time, those people told her, well, it is reflecting something in you, a misalignment in you, and you should mirror it. You
Which
should
I
mirror
think
your
is
love list.
so weird. Like,
So,
if I am
um,
if I'm an organized person and I want someone who, I don't want to, maybe not, they're not as organized as I am, but they live in a pigsty. And they'll be like, oh, well, you need to mirror that. And it's like they would always say, like, you need to mirror that within yourself. Like, no, that's just like, clearly that is just how that person
yeah.
lives. I am not okay with that. So no.
And this goes in for so long. If it was me, I would actually break. If this goes on for me, I would break. But that woman was so strong. She was like, no, I know. And in the end, Jeff stepped in. And you know what Jeff said? Jeff was like, I didn't channel this. And this is not my channeling. And she is a DF. She's a divine feminine. You people are wrong. And he was like, he asked her coach, why did you told her that she is the DM in that union? It is actually someone else. It is, let's just say this person is Annie Franklin. And that person is Annie Stewart. It was Annie Stewart. You told her, you took the wrong person. So that coach, he shamed the coach. He was like, this is your fault and this is the people's fault. And none of them ever said sorry to her, never apologized. And then what comes out, that it was actually Jeff who wrote the wrong name in the list. So can you imagine how careless that person is who is writing a wrong name to tell someone that they could be something else than who they are? It is so careless. And at that time I was like, okay, it might be one time mistake. But then I watched one of your videos and I heard that they have done this before. They have been careless about someone's security number, and it was public. So they're just so careless in that position, and none of them apologized to her. Everyone was like, and there was this for the first time I saw how cult shame people, how a cult shame people.
Yeah.
It was so abusive. I am very bad at narration, but it was like very, very, very abusive at that moment.
Mm,
And I was scared for her, and I was also scared for myself. What if it was me in her place? I
mm,
would just, I would just go la 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 la, brain shut off.
yeah.
So, so it was abusive. It was pretty abusive. And more than Jeff and Shaleia, I was scared of the community because there are like people. There is this one person who's in the military who is at a, and there is this one person who is a PhD in something who are on very good social status, and they're so stupid in this. And like, who can you trust? Like, you're so educated, you know these things, you know the world, you're adults, you're functioning adults, and you're like, you have this herd mentality that, I mean, I cannot fathom that. And you say compassion, 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 yet you're the most incompassionate group I have ever seen in my entire life.
Mm. And so, yeah, because that's another thing. Like they would always teach compassion and unconditional love, but
Yeah.
it's like when you blacklist people after they leave the group, or when you want to condemn someone to live an unhealthy or unhappy life because they leave the group. That's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is loving without condition. But if someone leaves the group, you want to shame them and ban them, and you want people to cut all ties with them. That is a condition. That is not unconditional love. um, and I think that group fails to see their their flaw when it comes to that. Like they just think that these people are falling out of alignment, and it's just like, and or they'll claim that they're falling out of alignment, and that because of their being out of alignment, they can't communicate with them or talk with them until they fall, quote unquote, back into alignment. AKA follow Jeff and Shalea's BS and take the BS that they dish out, but whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so, what was, I guess, what was your final straw before like leaving, or what kind of was like your, okay, this is it, I'm done, I can't deal with this anymore, like I'm out?
I left after that incident. After
Okay.
any incident, I was like, no, I cannot do this. This is scary. This is scary as hell. And then there was this one person who kept on inviting me to the group back. They kept on sending me the invite, and I was like, I personally have a cocktail of mental disorders. I have like a dissociative disorder, and I also have OCD. And at that time, I was very low. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should just, maybe. And I also have this habit that I just say that maybe I'm just wrong, and then I went back in again. And then I saw this another person. She has been channeled as a DM, and she wrote a big post, and she said that she doesn't resonate with it at all. She's not very, what did she say, she's not very excited to be a man, but she is okay. She will do it because it is her union. For her union, she will do it, and it is
So,
very hard. And
so
so
even
that set me off.
though, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So I just want to
Yeah,
clarify.
sure.
So even though she had made this long post, and I've seen some long posts within the group. So even though she said that she was not happy with them channeling the fact that she was now a divine masculine,
Yeah,
but that she was still going to do it because she wanted to be in her union, pretty much.
yeah. And I was like, I I am one of, in my country, being an LGBTQ is not, very, it is not very appreciated if you are an LGBTQ person. So I was one of those friends to which my friends came, and I was like, and they were like, I want to share this with you, but I think I'm gay. So I was one of those people, and I'd be very happy for them, and I'd support them. And you know, I have seen from my eyes how happy people get when they discover, when they're able to, be out of the closet, They're like, okay.
Yeah, they can express who they
So
really are.
yeah, they're like, this is on my chest now. And that person, it was the exact opposite. It was the exact opposite. She was like, okay, I have to do this for the rest of my life. How am I going to do this? But I am going to do this. She was like that. So, and also there was this thing, they have made many videos after that. We do not force people, we do not do anything. They come to their own conclusions, and we do not force them to change names or gender or anything. We just tell them to accept themselves. They say this for themselves. But in one of her posts, she said that her coach suggested, quote unquote suggested, that she should now change her name, that she should now start dressing as a boy, and she should now do this. So they are not forcing you, but they are slowly slipping in suggestions
Yeah, and
that you should do this.
that's a form of manipulation. I forget the exact name, but yeah, it's a form of manipulation when you um don't technically force someone into it, like, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, but it's like a form of like, I forgot exactly what it is, but it's like subtle manipulation to get the person to slowly think in the way that you want them to think. And yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard a lot about
they're
the
like, don't you want, they just tell this thing, don't you want to live your truth, don't you want to live in God's truth? And
mm,
they say this thing, and then what would you say if someone tells you, don't you want to live
exactly, like,
God's
yeah,
truth?
if you're on this spiritual journey, like, you want to, you know, do what you think is right for yourself. But if you've got this person who clearly uh claims himself as a guru, who is telling you, hey, don't you want to be, in love, and don't you want to be with your twin flame, and if
Yeah,
that's the case, this is what you have to do in order to get that. Like, yeah, someone's going to be like, okay, well, even though I don't want to do it, like, I feel like I need to, because you're taking on the role as my guru, and this is what you're telling is the best path for me. Then yeah, someone is more likely to do it, especially depending on what what they've been through. Oh man.
at that time I left. I left for real. At that time I left for real. Oh no. There's this one more incident that happened. My coach at that time, she I told her that I am getting confused. What is a DM? What is a DM? And I don't know what I am. I told her honestly that I don't know, and I'd like to know for real what I am, because I don't want to be like, oh, you're this, and then I don't want to be, shocked into this. So she was like, okay. So instead of asking me, like, if a good therapist or a good coach would ask me, what makes you think that you can be this? They would ask me about my experience. Instead of that, she was like, no, divine masculines are good people. Being a divine masculine is not a bad, being a divine feminine is not a bad thing. And, you know, she made all, you know, why are you afraid of the DM? Why are you afraid? She just swirled all my, doubts into her own story. And then in the end, before our session was over, she was like, okay, um, try exploring masculinity with more gentleness. I was like, what the fuck? Why should I explore masculinity? I,
like
I am just confused. Instead of helping me in getting clear, you just confused me
even
more.
more, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's so yeah, there's so much wrong with all of that. um because yeah, like, and I've mentioned this before, but it's just like, these people, unfortunately, uh they're not therapists. They don't have any, training when
Yeah.
it comes to people who, are questioning, their identity, or they're questioning who they really are, or anything like that. So they can only give these really general, vague answers when it comes to certain things. It's like, oh, you don't know if you're feminine or masculine, we'll explore into A, B, C, and D and see how you feel. But it's funny because at the same token, if they declare that you're divine masculine, but you feel that you within your heart of hearts that you are not a divine masculine, they shun you, or they mentally beat you down until you accept that for yourself, because it's what they quote unquote channel. So I think it's very, very strange how it's if they have to do what fits their narrative at that point in time. It seems like.
And also, she did this one very cultish thing. At that time, I was like, okay, this is a cult. she told me, my former coach, she was actually channeled into one of those unions. She was the channel feminine, and her channel masculine is still in the group. But she left after the channeling. So she was still friends with me on Facebook. There were many people who have left the group who were friends with me on Facebook, because why would I leave my friends? They have good connections with me outside of the group. So why would I leave them just because they left a spiritual group? So she told me that you should unfriend. I just checked your friend list. She checked my friend list, and
So
these
they're
people are in your
checking.
friend list.
I'm sorry. So
These people are in your.
she checked your friends list.
Yeah, she checked
Okay
my
then.
friends list, and then she told me that I checked your friends list. Why are you still friends with them? I was like, well, she was my former coach, and she is a very good person. And I don't even know why I explained myself at the time, but I was like, she's my friend. These people are my friend. And she was like, no, but they are choosing separation. Do you want to choose separation? If you don't unfriend them right now, I
And
would
that's
stop
so
coaching you.
weird that they tie their quote unquote separation with you being in quote unquote separation, all because you decide to continue to be friends with these people, aka you're still showing unconditional love. Like, you can choose your own path and I'm still going to be friends with you. That's unconditional love. But because they left the group, it's like, oh well, if they left the group, you can't be friends with them. Like, you have to cut all ties. Like, there's no way you can still remain in communication with these people, because like that goes against God.
So yeah, I was like, okay. She was like, you're choosing separation and you have to do it right now. You have to unfriend them right now, else I will stop coaching you. At that moment,
So
I
they
was going.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I clarify this. So they pretty much threaten, in a way, hey, if you continue to be friends with A, B, C, and D, I can no
Yeah,
longer coach you.
yeah.
Okay,
So,
that's some true unconditional love right there for you.
so, so I was like, okay, fine. And then what did I do? I was going through a very bad time. I was going through a panic attack after that, and I just unfriended them, as well as everyone from TFU.
Yeah,
A coach.
right.
I unfriended, and yeah, I left the community, and I left everyone who was ever been associated with TFU. At the time, I needed time for myself. I was like, no, I'm not going into this deep, shitty hole with these people.
Yeah.
So I did, yeah. So I did that. And also, I unsubscribed from OCP. Before that, actually a month before that, I unsubscribed from OCP. So she texted me. She was like, why did you cancel your subscription? And I was like, look, this is coronavirus season and I cannot afford to pay for it anymore. And also, I told her that I think I have had enough of the classes for now. I think I can take coachings that can help me just with coachings, because what is happening in the class? Basically, Jeff and Shaleia are coaching people, and I am watching other people being coached, and then I'm being coached myself. Like, what the hell is this? So I was like, I can just get coached, and I can get in union. But she was like, no, you need to be in good vibrations, and that good vibrations can only be brought from the classes. And if you cannot afford the classes right now, I'd say you subscribe to the sermons. Sermons are like 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 2-minute clips from every classes in which only Jeff and Shaleia are speaking. So I was like, what am I gonna do with those sermons? Why would I waste my money on people yapping for 10 seconds at every clip? Why would I waste my money on that? So I was like, okay, I'll see. Yeah, I was like that. And after that, she told me to unfriend my friends. And all of these things made me just leave. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done forever. So,
Um, so after you left the group, and I know for me it was a little bit harder, well, for me it was a little bit hard as well, because like, there were certain people who were in the group who I was still semi friends with. Of course, after I started speaking out, those friendships quickly disappeared. But did you ever have any doubts about leaving, or did you ever, I want to say in a way, like have any quote unquote like withdrawals after you left the group, like as far as like, not being able to talk to certain people, or communicate with people who maybe you thought were your friends in the group, and then after you left, like, either you blocked them or they blocked you, or whatever the case may be. Or was it easy for you to kind of transition, trying to
actually
transition?
was it actually was hard for me after I left the group. Not because of I actually had good friends in the group, I can say, but I I started watching their behavior with me. And they were like, um, I didn't like their behavior. I understood that it is, I am genuinely being friends with them, but they are only friends with me because of the group. So it was hard in the starting to accept that there are no real friendships here. I also had a withdrawal symptom from the fact that I used to feel like Jeff and Shalia actually might care about people, but then I realized that there's like a zero care from Jeff or Shalia for people. So that felt really, really, really bad. And also, after watching so many people, women being told that they are masculine because this and that, I was left with like a lost sense of self. That is what I struggled with a lot. Like, I was one of those people, I am telling you, I was one of those people who would be very happy to see. I don't know why I would get happy to see transgender women, and I would be very happy to see them because I was like, yeah, girl, live your life. You're doing it. Especially in this country where just cannot, people cannot just be themselves, freely. If you're a transgender, you're just put in a box that you're meant to do this. I mean, transgenders are accepted in my country, but they have a purpose in my country. They have a spiritual purpose in my country to bless people or to perform. They essentially just perform, they bless, they don't have a life of their own. But when I see people who are living their life, transgender people, I would get very happy. I am an artist, and whenever I go to, you know, events and such, I would always compliment transgender chicks that you're looking fine, girl. You just do you. You're looking so cute. And now, after I saw these things, uh, I actually started getting scared. I started from an ally, I turned into this homophobic person. And it wasn't because I am afraid of them. It is essentially like, what if someone forces me into this? I was afraid of that. I wasn't afraid of people who are
Yeah,
essentially, I'm afraid of nothing, but I was afraid of being forced into this relationship, which I do not want.
gotcha.
And also, man, just this word, man. I am a man. This triggered the hell out of me. Like, what is I went through a phase in which I didn't know what a man is. You know, it 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 just it took a lot from me. Like it.
You know what's so funny that I find extremely interesting? Like, so Jeff and Shaleia would always talk about, you know, especially for people who were quote unquote, you know, quote unquote, the divine masculine. They would always talk about, oh, you know, you need to look the part. You need to cut your hair. You need to, you know, change your name. You need to change your, you know, your pronouns and things like that. And then it's funny because you look at Jeff and he doesn't fit that, right? He's got the long hair.
Yeah.
He's, you know, got the, you know, there are times where he just seems very feminine, right? Like he's got this long hair, but you're forcing people who are quote unquote masculine to, you know, cut their hair. So it's like you're contradicting yourself and you're having people live one way while you live another
Yeah.
way.
And I saw this one. Actually, they're a very very famous, recent same-sex couple. I think you know them too. There's this woman, two women. They also lived at their place for a while. And can you wait? Yeah. So they lived at their place for a while, and that woman, she shaved her head. I mean,
Yep, yeah, that's what
um,
you're talking about.
yeah, she shaved her head, and Jeff told her that she was like, I don't know how to do this masculinity thing, and how do I dress up? How do I feel beautiful? She asked them that. How do I feel beautiful? So Jeff was like, you have a skater yogi style, and you can go for that. It is easy. It'll suit you with the personality. And do you know the only person I have seen with a skater yogi style? It's Jeff. He was just forcing his own style on her. Like,
And I
what is
can't
even
even,
a skater yogi? What is even a skater yogi? Like, tell me, just you're in your ugly pants, ugly short pants, and you're wearing t-shirts, and you're wearing a gold chain, and that is your skater yogi. Like, what the hell are you doing? And it's snapback, and you're just turning every man into that. I want like a skater yogi for myself. So you're turning every man into that, like essentially into a skater yogi. And also, she did a video, a style update video after that, and she's like, I want my long hair back. And it was it
was
was
this a post or was it a video?
it is a video. She was like, shaving my hair was a, you know healing experience for me, but I think I liked my long hair more. She said that. And she also, I mean, they say we are peaceful, but all I see is sadness in their faces. And it is very sad. And she was like, I went to Japan for a while, and I liked the Japanese clothing style a lot. I liked lace clothing, I liked flowy dresses. But then she gaslit herself by saying, oh, because I like the kimono style, like, the Japanese warrior style, that's why I liked those things as a woman. But now I'm a man, I will wear the Japanese men clothing. Like, you know what I'm
So she's
saying?
got,
Like,
so pretty much, she's pretty much, even though she feels more feminine, and I'm assuming because you know I don't know what's going on with her in her head, but so she's kind of talking herself out of what she actually likes, and from what it seems, what she likes and what she actually wants to do, in order to fit this quote unquote mold
yeah,
that the
yeah,
group has now put her in.
yeah. And I don't know. I was like, I'm so sorry for you, girl. I'm so sorry for you. And she actually cried in one of the videos. Oh my god, she was like, she actually said in the video, her woman was, her girlfriend was with her in that video, and she was washing the porch, um, and she cried. She was like, I cannot do this. This being a man is hard. I don't want, and
Which
being a
it's
woman was,
like, I
being a
mean,
woman is easy. She was
Yeah, and
like,
it's
being a
not. I
woman,
mean,
you think.
everyone's got their own challenges when it comes into that. But if you naturally feel like man or woman, it doesn't matter. If you naturally feel that you're masculine, like that shouldn't be hard for you.
Yeah, it doesn't, like she,
You
if,
shouldn't struggle against it as much, I guess, as
yeah,
she seems to be, which is weird because even before I was in TFU, like I consider myself, on the masculine side. Like I
yeah,
know
yeah,
I'm on the masculine side. I don't
yeah,
have to struggle with being masculine. Like I know it's who I am, so it's nothing that I feel like, oh my gosh, like this is so hard and I can't do it. It's just like, no, like this is who I am. And it is like, I can understand some people might have to work through some blocks that they might have due to society or friends and stuff like that, but it shouldn't be a situation where you feel like you're really struggling against yourself. Yeah,
yeah.
that's just my
And
opinion.
she was like, her girlfriend, instead of comforting her, she was like, oh, we're doing the inner work now. So, do you think being a woman is easier than being a man? You are saying that it's not easy to be a woman. It is just as hard to be. She just gaslit herself all the way down to that. She was like, she was like that. You're making it all about yourself. Basically, she said that to her in that video. That this is my opinion. It felt like that to me. So she was like, no, you're just running from yourself and everything. How it goes with them. She told her all those things. So yeah, it was pretty sad to watch them, and I stopped watching them after. I haven't watched them since.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's funny because I know who you're talking about because they've actually made a few comments on one of my videos, and it's like, which is funny because they're directing people to the one that you're talking about, the one who like shaved her head. Like they're directing like people towards her channel and stuff like that. But it's like, if you got these posts where you're struggling, like you're really having a hard time with your identity, I don't see how you're gonna, like, one, how you're like internally dealing with this whole situation, because it sounds like it's very traumatic. But then to want people to say, oh, but then turn around and say like, oh, I actually am happy and I've been doing the inner work, and I'm loving myself, but like you're breaking down on camera the fact that you don't like taking on this persona of being a man. I think
Yeah,
that's a lot of trauma going on with that, unfortunately.
yeah, and also I read about um, there used to be, I don't know if it still happens, but in the West, it, people used to conduct sex conversion therapies on gay people in the past. I read about that, and I think Jeff and Shaleia are doing that, just
Just the
the
opposite
reverse,
way.
just
Yeah.
the opposite. And it blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, they're like, they're like, this is glorious.
Yeah, I think it's weird how they're doing certain things. It's
Um,
it's crazy. I find it.
and she even, what scared me the most, she talked about how she's going to transition fully in time. She said in one of her videos, and I was like,
Mm,
man, if you transition fully, and one day you realize that this is not for you,
there's no
and
going back. Like,
you don't have your boobs anymore, and you just go as far as to change your genitals, and now you have a dick instead of your vagina. Now, what are you gonna do with
yeah,
yourself?
like that's
So
I
that
mean,
was that
I
was
have,
scary.
yeah, saying I haven't gone through any of that and stuff like that, but I mean, I'm not sure how how it is now, but like I think you have to do like go through um like therapy and stuff like that, but even beforehand. But I mean, if she makes it that far, then hey. But it's a huge thing, and I think because they are so convinced from this group that they need to do this, that they don't go with like their gut feeling. It's so, if you have a gut feeling of like, I shouldn't do this, I need to not do this, then it's like, oh, I have a block within myself, maybe I should, you know work through this block, aka you're going to gaslight yourself to think that you need to go through this process. And it's like, oh man, it's hurtful. It hurts to see people
Yeah.
have to go through that, unfortunately.
And also, there are many people still who tells their children, their transgender children,
Hmm.
that you might be going through a phase,
Yeah.
and this is what confirms it for them, that look at her, she was going through a phase, now she's into a man's body, she changed her body, and now she cannot go back to being a woman. Maybe you're going through a phase too, like her.
Yeah.
It is actually really bad for themselves and as for other people. Like,
Yeah.
you know it is already, I don't know what I mean, the struggles people go through, just transgender people go through just to claim their identity, to come
Exactly.
out in front of their parents, and then things like these happen, and it makes their struggle 10 times more difficult. So
Exactly, because it's like you're trying to be your most authentic self, and then you have people, unfortunately, like this, who are saying, well, you're quotes, coaxing people into changing their names, into who their identity is, and then in the same breath, you want to call yourself LGBT plus friendly. Like, that's not how it works.
and also her girlfriend, I you know she couldn't accept her. I was in the group when their union was happening, when their moving, their everything was happening, and she couldn't accept her as a woman one bit. If you love someone unconditionally, you will accept them as they are. I mean, their essence might be masculine, but if they want to stay in a like they want to live like a woman, you still love them just as much. You wouldn't change them for yourself, for your satisfaction. And that is where I felt like this is not love. This is just,
Exactly.
and she's just so desperate to turn, and I can understand why she's desperate, because she's straight. She's desperate to turn that person into a man, so desperate to turn her into a man, that she, I don't know, she's just not happy. And on the other side, the one who is the supposed masculine, she's not happy as well, because she's not masculine. She has her own. Whenever I saw them kissing, it felt so awkward. It is like, uh, I have never felt
Like, it
that
felt
way.
forced.
Yeah, it's like watching your parents kiss, and it is awkward because they're your parents, but it's like watching two sisters kiss, and it is more awkward, and it is not Game of Thrones. And yeah, so it was just as awkward as that.
Man. All right, so I'll kind of wrap it up, so I don't want to keep you on here for too long. So I want to thank you for actually doing this interview. I know we had talked a little bit beforehand, leading up to this, but is there any, I guess, tips or anything that you want to mention to people who are either thinking about joining this group, people who are maybe still in the group, or people who are even thinking about leaving the group?
I'd say people who are thinking about joining this group, first of all, take care of your mental health. Be sure of yourself, and then join the group. If you want to, I wouldn't suggest it. And people who are wanting to leave, please leave. Get a therapist, real therapist. People who are in the group, I'd suggest you the same. Get a therapist. And if you're questioning your identity, I'd say talk to a real LGBTQ person outside of the group, and also consult a therapist who works with LGBTQ people to know who you really are. Hang out with those people in real life instead of trusting just one little group of people on your identity, and see if you resonate with this and what are their experiences. Learn from that, I'd say. Like, be social. I suggest all people.
All right. Well, Lillian, I do thank you for taking the time to meet with me and do this interview, and sharing, your story and your opinions about those with what was going on in the group, people who are still in the group, people who are left, and kind of giving us a clear understanding and insight on what really goes on within the group. Yeah, that's thank you so much, because it definitely, especially with you only being in the group for so long, and actually, with being, actually, kind of recent, with you leaving the group, actually is a huge insight as well, because I think out of all the people, not that there's only one more person I think that left the group quickly, just as quickly, and that was Ray, because I think she was in the group for like 6, maybe 11 months, give or take, and I think
Oh,
you're
I watched her interview. She was lovely. She was lovely.
yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I will go ahead and let you go. Thank you once again so much for
So much
meeting
for
with
having
me,
me.
and I will definitely continue to hit you up, and when I finish editing this, I will go ahead and post it.
And also, I want to thank you for doing this. Your videos actually helped me in getting insight when I was in the process of leaving.
Well,
So thank you.
thank you.
And
I'm
also,
glad you found it helpful.
yeah, you're very helpful. And I'd say I'd also like to encourage people who have left to not be afraid of Jeff and Shaleia. They're not that powerful as they show. They're actually very scared. Um, they're scared of dying. They're scared of everything. They actually once blamed the whole community because Shaleia was having a gum grafting, that you
Yeah.
are killing Shaleia. And yeah, so they're afraid, they're scared, and we don't need to be scared of them. So I encourage more people to come forward and speak so that we can prevent other people to from falling into this hellhole.
Yeah, it's weird. I saw some of the posts that you sent me, and it's just like, they're blaming, I don't want to say blaming, but it's like
They
they
are blaming.
yeah, like in a way they're blaming people who are talking against this community as to why, the community is, falling apart. And it's just like, that's not the reason, because honestly, if your work stood on its own, you wouldn't have to worry about people speaking their opinion. And it's funny because someone even said, it's like, we're just giving our review on what we feel about this company. So if you're not as threatened as you claim that you're not, like, us putting our opinion out there shouldn't matter to you, but obviously it does. Like, your butt hurt because you got people, speaking out against, the
Yeah,
group, and you don't like it. It's honestly, it's our opinion based on, it's our review on this group and your company, because unfortunately you put yourself in a position that you are your company. Your this image of the company is you, and we just want people to know our opinion and what we went through and stuff like that. And I know they
yeah.
don't like it, but it is what it is.
And honestly, like, he calls himself King of Kings. Like, Tom Cruise is the King of Kings of Scientology.
Right. Oh my god.
And Reverend Moon was the King of Kings of Moonies. So we have another King of Kings of
And
TFU.
it's funny because a
So
lot of
we,
people have made that reference. They're like, yeah, like it's very, it seems very similar to some of the ways that Scientology might act, with how they will, cut people out.
yeah, I actually saw a page. They have a hate page for Leah Remini. She speaks out against them, and they have a full on hate page for her,
Oh
built
my
up for her.
god.
It is so funny. And I was like, what have I stepped on? I was just searching her. She's also lovely, very lovely. And I was searching her, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I understood, okay, it is by Scientology. And I was like, yeah, so Scientology is so petty. It is funny.
Right. And it's funny because I feel like, Jeb and Shaleia are the same way. Like, you want people to cut people out of their life completely if they don't agree with this group, but yet you still want to say that you teach unconditional love. And it's like, Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so I just say don't be afraid and subscribe to Andrea. Andrea is amazing. And please
Well,
keep
thank
on doing
you.
this work and never take off your YouTube channel. People need this.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, if outside of this video, if there's anything that do want to talk about or anything like that, definitely reach out. For those who are actually watching these videos, I will post all of my contact information below if you guys need to reach out or want to reach out and talk about anything or whatever when it comes to this group. But thank you so much again for meeting with me. And yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much. And I shall talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.